What's up, board game people? I'm very excited because today we are going to be unboxing Twilight Inscription. I have been waiting a long time for this, as many of you have. For those of you who are unfamiliar, this is a roll and write set in the world of Twilight Imperium, and really Twilight Imperium 4th edition, as well as Twilight Imperium Prophecy of Kings. So let's go to the table and see what's in this massive roll and write game. All right, here's the Twilight Inscription box, and on the back you have a really nice kind of image of what the player boards are going to look like laid out. Let's open this up. I have to say, this is, I mean, almost all TI art is absolutely gorgeous, but this box art in particular for TI Inscription, I think is just, I think they killed it. They in a good way. I think they absolutely nailed it. This is just gorgeous with the sun coming over Corax, and you know, you've got the pen here and the eye for inscription. Very cute, right? But just, it looks so very pretty. All right. And right away we're hit with the rules. And illustrated itemized components list, overview, and setup, and fundamental concepts, playing the game, lots of illustrations, navigations. You'll notice not tons of text. Some just nice artwork here, tons of illustrations, war event example. Okay, more text here, additional rules, there you go. Michael Rec sheet, winning the game, solo and 2-player rules, and then clarifications on the back. And then you also have a play as you learn guide, which is kind of a 6-page pamphlet here. Just kind of, so round 1 navigation, round 2 expansion, round 3 industry, and then round 4 warfare, round 5 and beyond. So, you know, like, I mean, TI has a lot of rules, you know, TI 3rd edition and 4th edition, and has a lot of rules, but like, I mean, I haven't played this yet, but like all TI, you know, TI as a game, as a rule, is not that complicated. It's the social interaction that makes TI so incredibly strategic, and where you have that diverse of play and depth and things like that. And I wonder if Twilight Inscription will be the same. I don't know. But here we have, gives you 8 these chalk markers here. Let's see. And we'll test those out in just a minute. But these caps go on pretty well. Back to that. Got tons of cards here, which we'll come back to. Got some nice oversized dice. Really oversized dice. So 6 dice, and I assume these 3 are the same. So 3 of these kind of translucent black dice, and just look at some of the iconography here. There are 3 sides and another 3 sides. Hold them like this so I don't miss anything. And then you have this translucent green die, and I'm going to do these one at a time. I assume one of these is for tech, one for industry, and one for warfare. I'm going to guess, but I don't know. Okay. And then it gives you all of these. I'm going to save for the box here. Because it's 1 to 8 players, right, in true TI fashion, it gives you all of these player boards, because it gives you enough for 8 players. So we should have 8 expansion boards, And we have 8 industry boards. And I assume these are all the same. Yeah. So I'm just going to separate these out real quick, and then we will show them off. And then we have the navigation boards. Maybe one of those dice is for navigation. We'll see. Navigation boards, warfare boards. Yep. And then, okay, so you have these 4 boards, and they're 8 each, so they're all the same. You have 8 copies each of those 4, and then you have this Mechatol Rex board right here. So we've got founding factions, final score, tons of iconography based on the dice, and other iconography on the other boards, which we'll get into. And then on the back there is room for more founding factions and members and final scores and pass and fail. That's interesting. So let's try out one of these markers here on this board. Oh yeah, look at that. That works just fine. And then if we erase, okay, the eraser is not as good as the marker, but I mean, if you just get some wet paper towels or a better eraser, right, you can see the dust there, right? But hi, CNC fans. Love y'all. Okay, so these markers work great. Good color, and just get some, like, again, white paper towels to take care of this, or just a better eraser. No problem. So we know that works. Let's check out these other boards. Let's start with navigation. So yeah, again, so much iconography. Some of it is familiar from the TI universe, but it's really, you know, got to read the rules here. But you've got kind of like a galaxy here with different like waypoints and plot points and navigation charts and things like that. Gravity drive. Looks like you've got some things about like economics and technology here. And these 2 sides, it looks like, are different. Yeah, I mean, they are to some extent. So yeah, maybe 2 ways to play, potentially, depending on the player count maybe, or how long a game you want. I'm just guessing there, but those are 2 reasonable guesses. Okay, so there's navigation. We can put those boards to the side, and again, you get 8 of them. Let's do expansion. So again, 8 of these, put these to the side. Here's one side of the expansion board. So again, you got different planets here, tons of icons, which I assume you check off or cross off or circle or things like that. And then you have another side here, and again, I mean, these have to be different in some way. I'm just gonna assume. I guess I could maybe make sure that if I were doing my job. Come on, Pete, get it together. Yes, these are different. You can see you've got different iconography here, and a number of other places. So yeah, these are, you probably figured that out before I did, so I was flipping back and forth. But these 2 sides are different. Okay, so now we're gonna save warfare for last, and we're gonna do industry. So here's side 1 of the industry board. Again, tons of iconography, AI development algorithm. And then there's the other side of the industry board. And finally, we get to the warfare board, and they're all double-sided. Fleet logistics, transit diodes. There's the other side. All right. Now we have these 2 decks of cards. So let's do this deck of cards here. Okay, so we have a speaker card, no surprise there, and then we have a few different types of cards here, it looks like. Okay, so these look like objectives that you can pass or fail of some type, and you have 4, 3, 2, and just 2, okay, here in this pile. So, Homestead Relief. On war, for each player may deploy 3 entry or 1 PDS. On expansion, each player may cross out 1 resource icon from the space dock. And population controls. Technology embargo. So I don't know if these are supposed to be like laws, like in TI, or if these are something a little bit different. Automated worker ban, hyperlane security, corporate tax breaks, wartime reparations. Of course, you can pause to read more of this. Construction moratorium, earmark spending, piracy crackdown. These certainly do seem like laws or policies. And there you go. You can hear that my cat is trying to get more food out of his food bowl. He already had breakfast and lunch. Council event reference. Yeah, so this is just a speaker. So you can see declare an agenda, cast votes. Okay, so you do have votes in this. Resolve outcomes, spend votes to vote on an agenda. All right. And then you have these United Front. Mark all 10 nodes in 2 rows. Armada, build 2 non-infantry units. Secured assets. Maximum efficiency. Sourcing expert. Diversified production, core cracker, technocrats, expansionist, collector, mercantilist, prospector. So a whole bunch of cards are gonna have to figure out exactly what they do. Clearly part of the TI universe. I mean, obviously, and then we have, I don't know if these are supposed to be types of objectives, Shard of Throne, Dynamis Core, Maw of Worlds, Stellar Converter. These are tech. Prophets Tears, Obsidian, Tyrant's Lament, Planetary Orbital. And there you go. I just have to pause for a second and say I'm really excited because while I didn't get into TI first or second edition, I can remember buying third edition back in 2005 and being very proud of walking out of my friendly local game store with my new purchase. It was actually the friendly local game store that was my first game store as a child, but when I bought TI 3rd edition in 2005, I was an adult because I'm old. Twilight Inscription is so very, 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 very pretty. Much like TI 4th edition, much prettier than 3rd edition and the 2nd and 1st editions before it. But there's something about just even the box cover, which I think I've already mentioned in the unboxing video. It's gorgeous artwork. The cards are gorgeous. So yeah, let's get back to it so you can get back to the prettiness and not, well, this. Finally, we have this other massive deck of cards right here, and so let's see. We have, seems like 2 different decks of cards here. Maybe those are depending on how you play. And then here we have, okay, so these are player references. We have asset references, and there are indeed 8 of them. And so player aids, and I'm going to show both sides of those. That just helps explain a lot of the iconography right there. All right. Really nice to have. Really, really nice to have. And then, so if we go through these real quick. Okay, so these are like strategy cards. Various types. Fledgling Empire, First Ventures, Convene the Council, Border Conflict, Redefine Trade Routes, Partisan Maneuvering, When Diplomacy Fails, really gorgeous art, Bustling Economies, The Limits of Diplomacy, Divide and Conquer, Industrial Zeal, A Throne for the Taking, Empire Ascendant. Are these other ones different, I wonder? They are. Strong Foundation, Toward a New Home, Technological Frontier, Border Defense, Maximum Yield, Forbidden Knowledge, Rightful Claim, Desperate Measures, Merciless Ambition, Girded for War, Echoes of the Past. That's where we started. A number of my friends and I were actually playing a full-fledged game of TI 4th edition this past weekend. And we were about 3 hours into the game, and then we broke for lunch and whatnot in the next room, and we made the mistake of leaving the game unsupervised, and one of the Emirates of Hakan, aka my tabby cat, Riley, jumped up on the table and decided to play a few rounds on his own. And when we came back from lunch, it took the better part of an hour for us to figure out where all the pieces were supposed to go, or at least well enough for all players concerned to be willing to continue with the game. So hopefully Twilight Inscription is more cat-friendly, cat-proof than TI regular, TI 4th edition. But yeah, so that's a little epic adventure from my life. And then finally, in true TI fashion, you can play, I think it is, if it's on the box here, 24, yes, govern one of 24 interstellar factions. So on the back of each of these cards, there is lore for 24 different races, and I'll let you discover all of this lore on your own. I will show you the front of each of these cards. But you have the Emirates of Hakan, which is one of my favorite and one of many people's favorite factions and races to play in TI. We've got the Sardak Nor, Abarak, the Nomad, the Winu, the Mentat Coalition, the Yin Brotherhood, another one of my favorites, to be honest with you, Barony of Letnev, the Titans of Ul, the Universities of Jolnar. Another one of my favorites, to be honest, in 4th edition of TI. I love playing them. I have never won while playing this faction, which is so upsetting to me. But what are you going to do? The Ghosts of Krios. I can never pronounce these guys. The Ichika Kingdom. The Federation of Sol. I have one friend who will only play the Federation of Sol. Of course, yes, it's kind of like seemingly one of the easier races to play. It's like the gateway race into TI, of course, but they're just like, oh, I have to be human. I'm like, wow, you should do some work on yourself there. No, I'm just kidding. But they always want to play the Federation of Sol, so there you go. Okay, let's keep going here. Embers of Muat, Necrovirus, right. Clan of Sar, probably going to these two quickly. This cabal. The Mahak Gene Sorcerers. These factions, including this one's kind of the cover art from the TI 4th edition expansion Prophecy of Kings, which I do not like. It's a whole thing. The Imperium, the Nalu Collective, the Nazroka Alliance, the Yasiriel tribes, right? The Argent Flight, and we're back to the Emirates of Hakan. So many ways to play, so many factions, like I said, in true TI fashion, and that is everything that comes in Twilight Inscription. Okay. So there's Twilight Inscription, the game, the roll and write game. Like I've already said multiple times, it's so pretty. It's really expensive. Twilight Inscription MSRPs for $64.95 or $99. It's $65. It's $65, which is double the cost of an already quality roll and write game, and well above the price point for kind of a full-fledged game with many more plastic or cardboard components than a roll and write. I'm not saying that roll and writes are inherently of a lower production quality, but they definitely have fewer bits, including Twilight Inscription. $65 for a roll and write. And they made it for 1 to 8 players, and I haven't played it yet, right? I'm just unboxing it right now. But I have to wonder if they had made it for 1 to 6 players and whacked $10 off the price. They probably would have only let them whack $5 off the price. But had they whacked off 10 and made it $55 and 1 to 6 players, that might have been better. Twilight Imperium 4th edition and 3rd edition before it were already premium games, premium products, very expensive. TI 4th edition retails for $150, and Prophecy of Kings, the expansion, retails for $100. And so I get it. These are premium games, premium products. But if you want a roll and write to be kind of a type of gateway game, and that's a whole other thing, whether you think roll and writes can be gateway games in general or not. But I do think, again, this is without having played it, I do think that potentially, if you have friends that like other roll and writes, they might be willing to try Twilight Inscription, and that kind of being a way of nudging your friends into the TI universe. I'm always looking for ways to do that. But you're going to have to buy your own copy, because your roll and write friends are probably not going to shell out $65 for a roll and write. That's just my 2 cents about that. I might have an entirely different opinion in general once I've played it and be like, it's totally worth the $65, but again, it's just a very high MSRP for a roll and write game. I'm really excited to play. Check out Twilight Imperium Inscription if this is your thing. Until next time, I'm your host, Pete Steele. Take care, all.